All right, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of the MDMade Podcast. My name is Nate McGill, and I'm your host today. For those who don't know, the MDMade Podcast provides timely, relevant, and practical information to empower student athletes to explore their potentials and pursue their passions. Joining us today, we have two friends and teammates on the gymnastics team, Sophia Leblanc and Austynn Lacasse. I'll let them introduce themselves in a minute, but I really wanted to bring them on the podcast just for them to talk about their experience thus far and then their next phase as they go into graduate school. We have a lot of student athletes looking to, get a graduate degree, get a master's. So I just want you guys to come in and share your perspective. So starting off, Sophia, I'll pass it to you. Please introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about you.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Sophia. I am a senior on the women's gymnastics team. I'll be graduating in May with a bachelor's in psychology and a minor in human development. And my plan is to attend Springfield College in the fall, which is a school in Massachusetts. And I'm going to be getting my master's degree in athletic counseling with the hopes to one day become a sports psychologist.
So I am Austynn Lacasse. I'm originally from Connecticut. I am also a senior on the women's gymnastics team. I'm also going to be graduating in May. I'm going to be getting a bachelor's of science in biology, and starting a few days after I graduate, I will be attending Johns Hopkins for a program in radiography.
Super cool. I'm glad you all shared that with us. But let's take it back. I always like to get the background of, our guests. So tell us how you got into gymnastics, and then how that brought you to, UMD. Tell us about maybe your recruitment process and your experience, and maybe share if there's anything specifically that's sold you on the university.
Yeah, so I started gymnastics when I was probably 2 years old. My parents put me in the mommy and me classes. And then when you're 3 years old, you have to go by yourself. And I guess I really didn't want to go by myself. So I told my parents I was going to take a little break. And then I said I would go back when I was 4 years old. And then I guess on my fourth birthday, I went up to my parents and said I wanted to go back into gymnastics. So they put me back into classes. And not too soon after that, I was invited to join the pre-team at my gym. So I started with that and then went through there's levels 3 through 10, and it's called the Junior Olympic program. So I did that. And then around 7th grade was when I started my first year, level 10, which is when I started looking into colleges. Back then, the recruiting process was a lot earlier than it is now, which I think is a good thing. But so I started looking at colleges with one of my coaches was helping me try to find a school. And then I didn't really know exactly where I wanted to go to, but I just wanted to start the process. But then around 8th grade, I tore my ACL, was out for that year, and then came back from that. The following year, I was playing volleyball, broke a foot. Came back quickly from that and then broke the other foot in the same exact place. So I was out for a few years during high school, which was hard because that's when the recruiting process was going on and a lot of my friends were all getting committed. But I came back and I knew I always wanted to do college gymnastics. So I came back and I was fully back around the end of sophomore year, junior year. And then I made, it's called JO Nationals, Junior Olympic Nationals. And there, a lot of the college coaches come to watch. So I was able to get in touch with a lot of the coaches there, and they were able to watch me. And then that's when I started talking to Brett, the head coach at Maryland here. And he invited me after to come to summer camp so I could see how I like Maryland in general, and he can work with me one-on-one. And so I came to the camp, and right after that he offered me a spot on the team, and I definitely knew when I came to camp that I absolutely loved Maryland. It was definitely one of my top choices. So I went to go see a couple other schools after that, but I knew Maryland was the one. And then not too soon after that, I ended up committing here. It was end of my junior year.
Right.
And then Maryland in general, what brought me here, I feel such great academics and athletics put together, which one of the main reasons I loved Maryland. And then the coaching staff was just awesome throughout the whole process. They were always caring and wanted to know what was best for me as a person. And I really like that. And then just the location, I feel it's perfect location. You can go to DC or Baltimore or Annapolis, but it's also has its campus vibe and it's not in the city, which I love. And it wasn't a little far from home, but enough that I could fly home like an hour and a half flight home where I'm from, Boston. So it wasn't too bad. So I think everything just lined up perfectly and was, main reasons I chose Maryland.
Yeah, College Park is a cool area. I like it a lot. Like I said, I've
Yeah.
always like the academic year, but it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Also, what about you? What about your story? How'd you get into it?
All right, so kind of similar with Soph. I started off in the mommy and me classes around like age 2. I didn't go through the denial of gymnastics like Soph, but I did the classes, and my mom actually owned a dance studio when I was younger. So
Okay.
I did a little bit of both, and then I kind of crushed all of her dreams as the dance teacher. And I told her I really wanted to do gymnastics only because I just love to flip around. So then fast forward a couple years, I started on like pre-team and then through the JO program. I was a level 10 for 3 years, so I started around my sophomore year of high school. And that's when I really got into the recruiting process. However, a little plot twist, I actually also did diving in high school. So my recruiting process was a little bit different. I was getting recruited for both diving and gymnastics. So I was looking at schools for both and was kind of taking like recruiting trips for both sports and still not really sure what I wanted to do. I ended up coming to Maryland for summer camp before my senior year, and that's when I just absolutely fell in love. I knew it was home the second I stepped on campus, and I was invited to an official visit after camp, and it happened to be my first official visit of 5. So I was offered a spot on the team, and I told the coaches, I was like, listen, I'm going to look at all my options, but I knew deep down that I was going to end up here. And so I ended up deciding to stick with gymnastics and stick with Maryland. It was the best decision I ever made, but I think that it's the perfect fit of like academics and athletics for me.
Yeah.
And then honestly, what sold me was the family atmosphere. And we have this conversation all the time with our coaches and with each other. People can like throw around the term like family or like close knit and like stuff like that. But I know that like throughout my 4 years here, it's honestly more than a family here. Like I know that each and every one of the staff and the girls I can count on for no matter where life will take me.
Yeah, you guys seem like a pretty close-knit group. I come over there and tell you guys about different events. You guys always are having a blast. So, yeah, that's important, especially since you're going to be here or you guys were here for extended time of your life. But now let's talk about the experience at UMD. Now you're on campus. Tell us what it's like to be a student athlete, a gymnast at UMD, and maybe like some of your favorite things about the student athlete experience.
Yeah, I feel like being a student here at Maryland is like the most incredible experience. Don't get me wrong, it can be very difficult at times. There's a lot to deal with. You got to manage your time, work really hard, and you definitely have a lot of things going on, but it's 100% worth it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that like the team is like been like we said, a family, and it's been amazing to be on the Maryland gymnastics team. I love every single one of my teammates, and I think it's just amazing getting to spend time with them. We go on trips, do activities, travel across the country competing, and I think some of my favorite moments have been with the team. And then the other thing, just competing for Maryland is like it's something I dreamed of when I was younger, and like being able to have that dream come true has been like incredible and some of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And I think just competing under Maryland and competing for Maryland has been just a dream come true.
Yeah, Big Ten, national stage, like that's
Yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah, I have to agree. And I mean, I'm gonna boast about us a little bit, but ending the season 23rd in the nation is always like an awesome accomplishment for the team. But being a student athlete here is more about that. I mean, balancing sports and athletics is always a challenge, especially being like someone in STEM or like someone doing like a psych major. I mean, but we have numerous resources that really just help us, and like the support that we have from all different departments across the board is just like nothing else. So I think that that has especially helped me, and I think like having time on being like on the SAC board and also doing things like Gossip Fellows, so that works with career development and helping you prepare for a life beyond athletics. So that has really helped me here, and I'm really thankful for the opportunities that I've had for that. My favorite thing here at Maryland probably has to be like competing on my senior night. So every athlete goes through it, but you have illnesses, injuries, they all pile up. I've had my fair share, but I think just being able to have that memory and have my entire team and the staff, everyone cheering for me, that was one of the highlights of my career here.
Yeah, you guys definitely face some adversity, ups and downs. I feel like you said both injured, right? So like we're able to get through that. And then also you mentioned Gossip Fellows recently, and I just know that being a student athlete it's a lot with your time. So like, did you struggle with that at all? Like, how did you balance all of this stuff going on? I mean, and your social life. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely a time commitment. And I think that being like organized and really working with the support staff that I mentioned. So we have everybody from sports psych nutrition. Then we also have people like you, Nate. And then we have academic support, tutoring services. Everyone kind of just works together. And I think that has always helped me to kind of like stay on top of everything, especially when you're traveling for so many weekends out of the year for season. No matter what, I mean, it's always going to be a little bit of a back and forth. But I mean, we work hard, we hold ourselves to a high standard, and I think that you'll still succeed.
Yeah. And then what about like major selection? How did you all decide to pick that? Like, I know you said psychology was what you're majoring in. So like, how did you get into that, just thought process, like, oh, this is what I want to do? Because you had to decide, did you change your major? Like, did you decide early on the sophomore year? How did that work?
I did change my major. So I started actually in kinesiology,
Okay.
and I thought when I was like in high school, I was like, I think I might want to become a PA and do like orthopedics, and I like the medicine field. But I came to Maryland, started taking some science classes, and I'm like, I am not the best at this, and this is not really what I enjoy the most. So I took some psych classes. I took AP Psych in high school, and I knew I really liked it. But then, so I took some more here. I enjoyed them. I was like, at first I was like, what do I want to do with the psychology major? But then I ended up taking a sports psychology class here. I really, really enjoyed it. And I actually worked with a sports psychologist when I was younger at our gym. We had one that we did like sessions once a week with him, and we set goals and did other activities related to sports psychology. And I enjoyed that too. So once I took the class, I was like, okay, this is what I think I want to do. So then I switched my major to psychology, took some more classes, and I worked with the sports psychologist here, and she comes to our practice, and I'm like, this is what I enjoy doing. So that's how I picked psychology. But yeah.
Soph and I happen to be polar opposites when it comes to academics, and we joke about it all the time. She always helps me with my papers, but if it comes to anything with science and math, that's definitely more my forte. But I am a bio major, so I kind of knew what I wanted to do from the beginning. However, I thought I was going to end up in engineering. I originally started off as bioengineering. I thought I wanted to do something with prosthetics, and over time, I kind of realized that wasn't really what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to stick with the medical field, but I kind of chose biology because it gave me like a broad range, and I'd be able to do like pre-med or like a specific track. Um, I ended up doing general biology, so it fit all of my prereqs and everything. But over the summer, I was able to do an internship with a hospital back home, and that really opened my eyes. I was able to do it with the radiology department. So I was able to work with MRI, CAT scan, and x ray. And that really is what I found that I want to do with my life. So that's kind of what guided me. And I could use my biology degree to then be accepted into a program for x ray.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not a fan of MRIs. I feel like I was in there like
I don't really want to do MRI specifically. I think people
Right.
get too claustrophobic, but
Mhm.
I think I really want to do CAT scans. So it's nice and quick and easy.
Okay. I
You
like.
don't have to worry about the whole tube.
Yeah, that made me nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you about it,
But
but
Nate, if you have me helping you through the whole process, it'll be a great experience.
it'll be a breeze. Okay, I like it.
Exactly.
Keep that in mind. So now let's talk about the graduate school process. Like I think it's definitely a process. I got my master's at Georgia State, and I didn't get to the first school I went to. I got denied, and then I eventually got into a program. They accepted me, and I had a phenomenal experience. But tell us about your experience, your journey. I know both of you applied to multiple schools, correct? So, like, tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so I knew once I decided I wanted to do sports psychology that I would have to go get my advanced degree, either master's or PhD or PsyD. So around I switched around sophomore year, so around junior year, I started looking into schools. I found out once through my research, I found out sports psychology, you can go two ways. You can do the counseling side of it and work with an athletic department, or you can do more research and that side. And I liked more the counseling aspect of it. So you could either do most of the sports psych programs are a lot on the research. There's less on the counseling unless you go to school specifically for counseling and then start getting experience in the sports psych. So that's what I started going down that road. A lot of programs, there wasn't as many with the masters that you can get a PhD, but I wanted to start with my masters first and then make sure that's exactly what I want to do. And you can go from there because you don't have to get your PhD or PsyD, but I'm still deciding on that one. So I started researching schools. There wasn't as many options for that, but there were two that I found that I really liked and I thought they would be perfect for me, which was Boston University and Springfield College, and they're both in Massachusetts, which is close to home for me. So I started the application process on that and started working on the resume and the personal statement. I worked a lot with Nate and he helped me through it for hours and hours. And I definitely worked on improving it and making it better. And that was a lot of my time was focused on that after I figured out what schools I wanted to go to. And then made it to the interview process on both. And then I decided I got in Springfield College. I knew that was a really good fit. I also talked to a lot of the professors beforehand for both schools, and I was able to get a general idea how things work there and talk to the professors. And I really, really liked the Springfield College professors. They seemed really personal and caring, and I was like, this I feel like would be a great fit for me. And on top of that, they had a gymnastics team, which would be a bonus that I could work with, either work with or do a fifth year for gymnastics. So I thought that was great. And then so then I decided to go to Springfield, and I'm excited about what the future holds.
That's super cool. You said you might get to work with the team.
Yes.
Right up your alley. You get to still be around
Yep.
the sport and kind of even mentor the girls. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm planning on, I think I'm most likely going to do actually a fifth year, my first year there. And then I'm planning on I want to do the graduate assistant program, help them coach right after that, because I'll be there for 2 to 3 years. So
That's
yeah,
great.
I'm excited.
Austynn, what about you? You had some decisions to make.
I know I had some big decisions to make. So I ended up applying to two schools, one being Hopkins, and then my other school was back home.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the process, I really looked at the clinical sites. I knew going forward in radiology, most of the programs are either x-ray oriented or ultrasound. So I always knew that I wanted to apply to the x-ray schools, and that kind of limited my options a little bit. But like I said, I looked into the clinical sites because I think it's the most important thing when looking at the schools, because that's where you'll most likely be offered a job after. And I chose those two schools because they are either really close to home or close to the area that we live in now. That was one of my biggest decisions, was if I really do want to stay out here. But there's the other option of staying home. So I think one of the biggest things for me was working on my application and making sure I had everything in order. With that being said, some of the applications I needed to take a test, others I had to write personal statements. It was kind of just staying organized and making sure that I showed everything I could to be the best possible candidate. I think it's a little bit frustrating. The deadlines were a little bit different. So I actually ended up hearing back from Hopkins first. I still have not heard from the other school, but I have made the decision to go to Hopkins because I just can't turn it down. It's going to be an awesome opportunity, and I'm excited to see what comes of it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I remember you talking about the test. I think we talked about this in study hall. You're like, you had to go here. You just got back from another competition, and like, I have to go take it. That was a crazy experience. But again, you got it done, and now you've been accepted. So
Super excited.
talk about this next phase. Like, do you guys have anything that you're nervous about? Like, what are you expecting to be the biggest adjustments for you all as you make this transition?
Yeah,
I think
you can go first. You can go first.
I think for me, I know this would be a little bit different from Soph, but I think the biggest change is going to be not having athletics anymore. So not having my teammates or my coaches to kind of just like have a conversation with if I'm having a tough day or something like that. I mean, I've always been comfortable with having everyone around me. And I think the biggest change for me is going to be not being able to rely on those people. But I think that also gives me the biggest opportunity to meet new people and kind of engage with people that are in my program or other people at the school that may be doing something else, and that can open other doors for me later on. I think something else is moving to a new city all by myself. But again, like I said, that's the biggest opportunity for growth. So
Yeah, I'm a little bit same in some ways, a little bit different other ways. I think just a little bit nervous for like a big change. I've been here for the last 4 years. I loved it here and enjoyed it a lot, but I'm excited, but definitely a little bit nervous. It's going to be different. It's a much smaller school than Maryland, which I think will be good for me too to experience both of them. Luckily, I hopefully will have the team and I'll meet new people through there, but like it's a little bit different than when I came to Maryland, where I was committed a year or two before and knew like the people going into it. So it'll be definitely, I'm excited to meet new people. I think it'll be a change, but I'm excited.
Good. So now, like, again, I know that based on the graduate degree, like that kind of defines more of your career and your career journey. But like what are you two looking forward to the most in the program? Like, I think that Sophia, you mentioned being able to possibly have the opportunity to work with the students too. That's like hands-on experience, which is going to be huge for you. Like, are there anything else that you're like looking forward to in that transition or pursuing that degree?
Yeah, so with the athletic counseling, like you'll work with teams on campus. So I'm planning on working with like, I think if I do gymnastics, they won't let me work direct. Like I can coach the gymnastics team, but through like the sports psychology part, I can't work directly with the gymnastics team. So, but I'm excited to actually work with other sports and see like from a different view. Which will be different because I've tried other sports when I was younger, but gymnastics is more what like was stuck. But I'm excited to like work with the other sports and see like the differences from gymnastics.
What about you, Austynn?
So honestly, I'm just excited to start taking classes that actually pertain to what I want to do with my career. I think as a bio major, I've always been interested in like the science and math aspect of things, but really just getting a jump into the medical field and getting like hands-on experience in the hospitals and working with the people themselves. I think I'm really excited to start that.
Okay. I love it. So some big things ahead for you all. And then the next segment is one of my favorites. And it's another opportunity for you all to reflect. And it's really just my question to you all would be like, as you reflect good, bad, the highs and lows, like what advice would you provide your younger self or even some of the younger student athletes who are looking to go into grad school? So I guess 2 questions there.
Yeah, I would say the first thing I would tell myself is to worry a little bit less and try to enjoy the process as much as you can, especially your time at your undergrad like Maryland. I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself at times, but just try and enjoy it and then not be afraid of like failure, because you're not going to be able to go somewhere like or pursue your career goals if you don't try. So like even if you fail the first time, you can learn from that and accomplish your goals next time. So I think just not being afraid of failure, because failure can become a good thing in your life, and like you can learn a lot from it. But yeah.
I think also going along with what Soph said, I wish that I didn't focus and stress on all the little things. 4 years really flies by. Soph and I talk about it all the time. We can't believe we're graduating in a month. It seems like just yesterday we stepped on campus as little baby freshmen. But I say like my biggest advice is to just let things happen. It's okay to change your mind. Everyone comes into college, they think they have the perfect idea of what they want to do and what they want to major in, who they're talking to, and their professors and everything. And I know that over time things change and you might not always know what's for sure, but you just have to find what you're passionate about and be excited about taking on different opportunities and experiences. I'd also say to use all of the resources that are available to you. I didn't take advantage of them until later on in my college career, and I think I could have benefited from them even more. But overall, it just goes so quickly, and to just enjoy every moment of it and, yeah, the opportunities that you're given.
Right, it's gonna all work out for you all. So yeah,
Everything's gonna work out.
I'm super excited about the next, phase for you all. I'm super proud. I saw it from at least a part of it, at least last year. But then I have one more section. It's rapid fire. You guys did not get to see this part coming, but it's gonna so you just have to answer it very quickly, maybe one word responses or just something quick. All right. So favorite event, we got bar, beam, or floor. What are we going with?
I'm going for bars. I cannot say that beam was ever even in the consideration.
Yeah, I would say bars to train, floor to compete.
Crazy. I practiced and I was like, did you guys see me try to do the trampoline? I don't know. Saw me. We have a video. Maybe we will show this, but it was bad.
Add the video.
All right. Best career advice you think you received?
Ooh, best career advice? From like upperclassmen or alum, or what are you looking for?
Maybe it's alum, maybe it's family, friends.
I think the best career advice is don't get frustrated and take in every moment that you can, because you never realize how fast it goes by.
Good one.
Yeah, I'd say also, yeah, a lot of people say to enjoy it. And then just go for everything. Just try to use your resources and just try to, I would say use your resources as much as you can and like go for what your goals are.
I like it. What about worst advice?
Worst advice would probably be that's a challenging one, Nate. I'm caught off guard. Probably the worst advice is that change is like not to follow change. Like I think over time, 4 years, a lot can change. So the worst advice I probably received was like stick to one thing.
Okay, I like it.
God. That's a hard one.
Do you like worst advice?
I have the worst advice maybe I received.
What is your worst advice?
Yeah.
Let's see. Worst advice. I think it's not really advice, but just like the concept of like trying to do things fast. I think that kind of what you're saying, like take things slow. Like I feel like in my profession, a lot of people some people can like title chase or like they want to be here, they want to do that. And I think it's kind of it's more about like the journey and the process. And I know sometimes it's hard. It's hard. I've been there. I've been a GA, I'm not making that much money, but like I think that kind of builds you up, builds your character, and like you're building like tough skin for like future opportunities. So like the stuff that you're going through now is just going to prepare you for future opportunities. So that's something that I would say.
Yeah, I would say like people like to try everything. Like, yes, you should use your resources as much as you can, but sometimes putting too much on your plate can become a bad thing, and try to like focus on what you're doing and make the best of it. And if you can fit more in, you can, but like I'd say not to like try to do everything at once. And I feel like that it's not always the best idea.
That sounds like a counselor, a psychologist right there. That's like take it slow, okay? All right, number one song on your pre-meet playlist. What are you going with?
Ooh, Girl on Fire, Alicia Keys.
Can I hear some vocals or no? We can't get any vocals for a podcast.
Oh, not for the podcast. If I'm in the shower, I will sing it at the top of my lungs. Not for the podcast. So sorry.
Yeah, no. I used to say Waka Waka as a joke on our team, but I also like listening to Goosebumps before the meet.
It's a pre-meet song for the whole team. We get it started on the bus.
There we go.
Yeah, we get it started on the bus, and then when we walk into the arena, we have it like on the speaker all around us. So
wait. Now you got the speaker. You guys walk in with the speaker? Like,
yeah, we do walk in with the speaker.
Somebody like looking at like, where is this music coming from?
I mean, we walk in, we gotta walk in confident.
Wow, so y'all come in with swag. I love it. I like it. All right, now we're going to morning or night classes. What you thinking? Because you guys might have night classes now that you're a graduate student.
Morning, always morning. But I've heard my fair share of like night labs. Yeah. So I think I can hold it together.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really a morning person, but I'd rather do my classes in the morning if I can. I don't mind. I also don't mind night classes if I have to. But yeah.
Okay. Last question I got for you is, would you rather study at Starbucks or a coffee shop or at home?
I think Starbucks or a coffee shop for me.
Type of person for you? Okay.
Probably a coffee shop studier, because if I'm at home, I convince myself that I can do work while I like watch TV and I try to multitask, and that's probably not the smartest idea.
I get too distracted at home.
Yeah. I get distracted by Soph and her shenanigans. That's what I get distracted from.
I came in her room like 5 times this morning while she was trying to do her homework.
I have to agree though. I have to go with the coffee shop too, because I think I will sit here and start getting tired, and I'm like, nothing's gonna get done. So that's what I'll go with. Well, I just on behalf of Maryland Made want to thank you all for coming out, sharing your perspective. It's very unique, and I think that hopefully somebody will resonate with it and it helps them throughout their journey. But I also want to shout out Tasha, the gymnastics team. You guys have been doing a great job. You guys are a family, so dedicate this to you all. But yeah, I wish you all the best in the next stop is graduation. And until next time, I'll see you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there we go.
Nice.